know I got the receipts, girl. You know I got the receipts. Now the question is, could Kanye West be placed under Kim Kardashian's conservatorship? Kanye West, now known as Ye, appears to many of us who have closely followed his career to be unwell, and many feel he has been on the decline for years now.
Talk to you, Kanye. What's going on, man? What was up with all that stuff? You wanted to squash all that because you're a cool guy. Come on, Kanye, be cool, man. I mean, what's going on? Why can't we talk to you? I mean, why? I mean, no, come on, Kanye, I don't want to fight with you. Seriously, I don't want to fight with you. I told you don't talk to me, right? You're trying to get me in trouble, so I still off you have to pay you like $250,000. No. Hey, Donald, are you okay? Hey, you hit that guy, man.
Hey, seriously.
What are you gonna hang up, dude?
Donald. Are you okay, man? Are you okay? Are you okay? Be cool.
Attention military personnel. The Bob Hope USO and LAX is open.
The hip. Send a unit.
He has video of these, yeah. You were wrestling Walk toward me.
Hey, good morning, Kanye.
Shut the f up.
Hey, Kanye, are you mad at Jim Kimmel? Do you have anything to say about Jim Kimmel, Kanye? Do you think he was too much with you?
Yo,
Hey, are you mad at Jim?
my garage?
Are you, no. Are you mad at Jim Kimmel, Kanye? How's it going, Kanye?
Don't say anything to me, man. Like, stop asking me questions. You out in front of my house at 4 a.m. Talking about how's it going? It's not going good. Y'all here trying to take money out to make money off us. That's how it's going. It's 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. and you ask me how it's going. You know I don't want you to say nothing to me. You hear what I'm saying? Respect that.
Relax.
Nah. What you mean relax?
I did nothing to you.
What you mean? What you mean relax?
You're
in the street, man.
You're gonna hit me.
We
I
need
don't
to
did
fight,
nothing to you, man.
We don't want to fight. We're in the street.
Come on,
I'm
Kanye.
gonna change all this.
Come on, Kanye. You know we like you.
Shut the f
You left
up. It's 4 a.m. You blood-sucking mosquito.
You left the bag right there, Kanye.
You want me to be standing out in front of your house at 4 a.m.?
Just want you to know we're here to support you,
Shut the
though.
f up. You doing that to get more money for TMZ every question you ask me.
No, just here to support
Shut
you.
the
Though.
f up. You bully. You fucking mosquito bully. Pick a profession and shit with some type of respect to it.
Have a good day now.
With the implosion of his most valued relationships, key business deals, his public persona, and finally his net worth, Ye appears to be on a downward spiral that has no clear end in sight.
Looking for an Uber? Yeah. Really, I'm gonna give you a ride wherever you want to go.
You need to go somewhere?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll ride with you then. Yeah, come on, let's go.
All right.
I don't need Uber anymore. I just had the Pops take me where I want to go.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't see the Ubers. I'm gonna ride with the Pops. Y'all like that term, the Pops? Do you take that as like?
Much of this is reminiscent of the beginning of the Britney Spears conservatorship. Britney's own downward spiral made her the perfect prey to an allegedly corrupt conservator who happened to be her father. Now, celebrity conservatorships often get a bad rap. However, the goals of a conservatorship are largely admirable when done properly and with the best intentions. So what is a conservatorship? Conservatorship is a legal tool that allows family members and others to take control of the finances, medical decisions, and property of a loved one who has been deemed unable to make decisions for themselves. It is a legal relationship created under state law to manage assets and make personal decisions for someone who is unable to make decisions for themselves because of a disability or a mental illness. Now, oddly, Ye's primary residence is in California, just as Britney's was when she was involuntarily placed into conservatorship. California law would apply as well. Now, a conservator is an individual appointed by a court to look after the financial affairs and or personal care needs of a protected person, the conservatee, who has been determined by the court to be legally incompetent or otherwise unable to manage their financial affairs or healthcare decision-making. Now, California law requires a court in the state to find that the person is incapable of providing for their personal needs, unable to manage their financial affairs, and lacking the capacity to make or communicate significant responsible decisions. A conservator can be a family member, a friend, or a professional. We have all heard of celebrity conservators before because of several celebrities that have been placed under conservatorship due to mental illness or substance abuse issues. Court appoints a conservator over a celebrity, that role of the person is going to be similar to that of a caregiver. The conservator is going to oversee the celebrity's physical and mental health. That means they're going to be making decisions about their living arrangements, their medical treatments, and their personal care. For example, if the celebrity is required to go to the hospital, then the conservator would take care of that as well. Now, for some celebrities who have become incapacitated due to drug addiction or mental health, there's often a need for an intervention before it gets serious enough for a conservator. But even then, we still see celebrities whose families have not done enough and they have not done what is needed until it is too late, i.e. Britney Spears. So when it comes to Ye, what are we talking about here? Well, for Ye, should a conservatorship even be considered, a possible viable candidate to be the conservator would actually be his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian. Not only is she the primary legal custodian of the children that they share, but she also has a law degree. You put that celebrity aside as well, and she meets and exceeds the qualifications under California law to become a conservator.
And just wanted to do the right thing, but I didn't know how or what to do or even really what was going on. And so after going to visit so many different prisons and really sitting down with lifers, with every situation you can possibly imagine, my heart just completely opened up and I wanted to do more. So I started to study the law, which is, law school basically in California. And my attorneys are here today, Aaron and Jessica from Cut 50. They thank you. So the best part of it is I learned so much that I don't even know if, I don't want to speak for anybody in law school, but I learned so much just basically working on memos and being the assistant to them while the First Step Act was happening and learning how you get bills passed and working on it from the ground up. So to get the president's support and to see it come to fruition was magic.
Now, as someone who may also be very close to being a billionaire, Kim K also has the critical financial savvy that these California courts are receptive to in celebrity conservatorships since this whole Britney Spears decade-long debacle. Now, there is admittedly a conflict that the state would closely have to examine after a court just granted Kim over $2 million per year in child support to be paid by Ye. Now, this is the perfect time to be having a conversation about a potential Ye conservatorship. The more all of us understand the issues, the less unclear a conservatorship can become. So what led up to this? Did you ever think that you would see the day that the college dropout needed to be placed in a conservatorship? Where did we go wrong with Kanye West? Kanye Omari West was born on June 8, 1977. He is the son of the late Donda Williams and Ray West. He was born in Douglasville, Georgia. Now, while other kids his age got into trouble, Kanye was learning to speak Chinese and do Tai Chi growing up in the middle-class South Shore area of Chicago. Although his late mother Donda and his father Ray divorced in 1980 when Kanye was 3, they remained amicable. Kanye lived with his mother, but spent summers with his father and stepmother, Brenda Bentley. Now, when speaking about young Kanye, Brenda said that he was well behaved, and if he ever had a tantrum, it would not last long, and he would go back to being a good boy again. His father, Ray, was not too strict as a dad, and because it was in the summer months when he was with Kanye, it was playtime. At home, Kanye did his chores and was a well-behaved kid. Kanye loved museums and art. He loved sophisticated arts, not the Disney type of animations, but he did love animation and he loved artsy stuff, his stepmother Brenda recalled. Now, when Kanye was 10 years old, as part of an exchange program, his mother Donda, who was a university professor, took him to live in China for a year. In Donda's book, Raising Kanye, Donda said that Kanye would charge the other kids to see him breakdance. He could spin on his head, she said. The kids thought it was fascinating. Now, when Kanye turned 13, his mother paid for the recording of his first song in a basement studio. The studio was far from ideal. It was not plush or glamorous, but Kanye was happy to record there. Kanye graduated from Polaris High School in 1997. He received a scholarship to attend Chicago's American Academy of Art. He studied painting while at the university. He then transferred to Chicago State University. Now, while at Chicago State, Kanye majored in English literature. Now, as a tribute to Kanye West, Chicago's American Academy of Art bestowed an honorary doctorate degree upon Kanye in the year 2015.
Join us today to be recognized for your transformative, genre-defining work across music, performance, film, and fashion design. Your visionary and ambitious career is a true reflection of the creative spirit. So, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of the School of the Arts Institute of Chicago and the Board of Trustees of the Art Institute of Chicago, I now confer upon you the degree of Honorary Doctorate of Fine Arts, Dr. West.
You got a picture here. Come around, Russia.
I'm sorry, that was just my opinion. I am a pop artist. So my medium is public opinion, and the world is my canvas. I'm sorry is something that you can use a lot. It gives you the opportunity to give your opinion, apologize for it, and give your opinion again. People say, you should not be sorry for your opinions. George Bush has some very cool self-portraits.
But now the school can be added to the list of organizations that are removing their support of Kanye West. The school has recently rescinded the honorary degree, saying that the honorary degree bestows the legitimacy and luster of the school on a figure who has in recent months made repeated public statements that are expressing and justifying anti-Semitism. Regardless of his contributions that he made prior to getting that award, it's now harmful to allow Ye, as he presently is being known, to continue to use the School of the Art Institute of Chicago to help legitimize hatred and violence. Ooh, child. Now it looks like he will not be teaching that art class after all. He predicted in the year 2018 he was going to teach an art class at this art institute. Well, now since they done removed that honorary doctorate degree, honey, don't look like he'll be teaching there anytime soon. And in August of 1996, Kanye West appeared at the Fat Beats storefront in Greenwich Village. Now, while he was at this storefront, this is when he dropped a freestyle that has become very famous.
Chicago what? Chicago what? Chicago, hey, yo, if you owe me money, what? Take it. Yo, it's the Lakeshore Drive, keep it live, tight raw. You better hurry up, they can't keep it in the store. The beautiful format, your whole style in one beat. Insert the disc, watch a nigga press delete. Trying to flex the technique, you get blasted with a tech. This shit is mad ironic like the land is Morissette. You try to K-Jet, first airline lyrics. Rhymes below, fair flying out of old hair. While these no-name ass niggas wanna go there. Nobody's living 3 blocks from nowhere, down the street from nothing. Let me show these niggas something visual. A's and pages, the niggas who front it. Word to God, they don't want it, but they wanna play the role. Acting hardcore, watch the whole career flow. My style is too cold, always forever like Luther, but it ain't original because I stole it from the future. Now I'm one of the 3 centuries. The verbal killer asked me where I got the style token from my grandchildren. Put it on file, documented in the books. You niggas can't see me, so cease the hard looks. However it gets took, live and die for rhyme dedicated to hip hop. Shit don't stop. Niggas they wanna know what and who's next. Since you roll up in the Lex, that's the train stop. My brain drop mad lyrics. I vibe with the spirit off the top. I drop non-stop, verbally killing. My style is ready and willing. Y'all niggas lay back, chilling like EPMD. Y'all niggas ain't seeing me. What? For it's born from style, do or die. I got the rhymes from the brain. They try to rob me on the plane, so I rode the train. Before I got here, spot here, I'm about to take this shit. Yo, it's my year. What? Bring it on, pass it to my man Tariq. Rock the mic all week. Yo.
Kanye West gets a big break when he gets a taste of the industry in '98 after he sells his first beat to a local Chicago rapper called Gravity. The rapper bought the beat from Kanye West for $8,000, and then he sold his next beat for $5,000 to Jermaine Dupri. Dupri used the beat for his debut album, Life in 1472. Now, after Dupri's release, one of Kanye West's beats was selected for Mace's Harlem World Group album, The Movement. Now, shortly after these achievements, Kanye West dropped out of Chicago State University to do music on a full-time basis. Then in January of 2000, Kanye West's career gets a major boost. That year, he began producing for Rockefeller Records artists. He produced This Can't Be Life from Jay-Z's album The Dynasty, and he also produced the title track from Beanie Siegel's The Truth. Now, the year 2000 marked the start of the decade that Rolling Stone magazine believes made Kanye West the icon that he is now. Now, in 2001, because of his contributions to Jay-Z's Blueprint, writing 5 tracks for that album, he contributed a lot of recognition to The Takeover. The role Kanye West played in the Blueprint and the huge success that came from that record led to an increase in demand for Kanye West. Then in 2002, Kanye tragically gets into a car accident that almost results in his death. The accident occurred because he fell asleep while driving from a recording studio in California. He was left with a broken jaw that was wired closed by reconstructive surgery. Now, after the incident, Kanye returns to the studio to record Through the Wire. The song featured a sample from Shaka Khan. He also produced Jay-Z and Beyonce's Bonnie and Clyde. Then in 2004, Kanye's debut album, The College Dropout, was a massive success. The album sold 441,000 units in its first week. It also debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 albums chart. Now, the album is the body of work on which songs like Jesus Walks and All Falls Down can be found. This album went 3 times platinum. In 2005, this is when Kanye makes one of his first controversial statements. After winning 2 Grammys for College Dropout and then releasing Late Registration a few days later, Kanye West stated on national television that George Bush doesn't care about black people, criticizing the way that the president responded to the effects of Hurricane Katrina.
The shape of the city has changed dramatically, tragically, and perhaps irreversibly. There's now over 25 feet of water where there was once city streets and thriving neighborhoods.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. See a white family, it says they're looking for food. And you know it's been 5 days because most of the people are black. And even for me to complain about, I would be a hypocrite because I've tried to turn away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give, and just to imagine if I was down there, and those are my people down there. So anybody out there that wants to do anything that we can help with the setup, the way America is set up to help the poor, the black people, the less well off as slow as possible. I mean, this is Red Cross is doing everything they can. We already realize a lot of the people that could help are at war right now, fighting another way, and they've given them permission to go down and shoot us.
And subtle, but in even many ways more profoundly devastating, is the lasting damage to the survivors' will to rebuild and remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
In the past few days,
now, regardless of the statement, Kanye landed his first #1 with Late Registration. The album sold 860,000 copies in the first week of its release. In 2006, after his video for Touch the Sky lost to Justice and Simeon's clip, We Are Your Friends, at the 2006 MTV Europe Music Awards, Kanye was not pleased about losing. Angrily taking the microphone from the winning pair, he uploaded a speech that was filled with curse words, insisting that his video should have won instead of theirs.
Let me just say this. You are a true veteran of the MTV Europe Music Awards now, and for that we appreciate. You show a lot of love over here. What is it about the MTV Europe Music Awards for you that makes it so special?
I mean, it's just super exciting. They let the artists be themselves. Justin was a good host, all the performance. It just felt like a party out here. And I had a little sippy, you know, and I'm just chilling.
Getting a little bit lippy.
Yeah, a little sippy.
So tell me, what are you going to do after the show?
A little more sippy.
You know, I think I kind of have to apologize on behalf of MTV for this. You're a good friend of ours, and we nominated you for the Best Video Award. Unfortunately, the award went elsewhere. How do you feel about it? Sound off. Tell MTV, you know, what the score is.
Oh, no, I just went up there. I talked my on stage. So just as long as they don't edit my part, I'll be good.
You did? You crashed the stage?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
Well, we're about to right now.
We're about
We ain't going to edit it. It's a live after show with Kanye West. Kanye to the. Let's take a look.
But they want to thank you guys. Thank you.
Oh, Kanye. You won already. You won already.
That's all good. I mean, we got to share the wealth, but this video cost $1 million, fam. I had Pam Anderson. I'm jumping across canyons and
Now you're gonna have to share.
oh, hell. Oh. Hey, if I don't win, the award show loses credibility. I appreciate it, man. You know, it's nothing against you. I've never seen your video. It's nothing against you. But hell no, man. I love y'all.
Hey, you should have seen the video, man.
Timberland, man. Beats is hot.
Well, no MTV Europe Music Awards would be the same without a controversial moment, so thank you, Kanye West.
Now, as his fame grew, Kanye's devotion to his mother remained as strong as ever. She managed his career and accompanied him on his award shows and many industry events. She was his date on the red carpet. Kanye scheduled September 11, 2007 as the release date of his third studio album, Graduation. He was up against rapper 50 Cent, whose album Curtis was also slated to be released that day. Of course, Kanye crushed 50 on release day, taking the #1 spot on the Billboard 200, Kanye's album selling 957,000 copies in its first week. But on November 10th, 2007, tragedy would strike. After suffering complications from undergoing liposuction, a tummy tuck, and a breast reduction, Kanye's mother, Donda, died at home at the age of 58. An autopsy revealed that a pre-existing heart condition likely led to her post-operative death. A law passed after her death, named Donda's Law, required plastic surgeons to ensure patients have had a physical exam and are cleared by their primary care physician before undergoing cosmetic procedures.
Several things. I did write a book you may know about. It's called Raising Kanye. Okay. And in that book, I talk about, there's a chapter in there that talks about the many doors that were shut in Kanye's face. Sometimes people just think, oh, overnight success. Oh, he just made it. Oh, how lucky. No, there's a lot of work involved. And I've seen him at times when he really wanted to go out on that stage and perform, but he didn't get to. When he really wanted that deal, but nobody believed in him. When he really wanted to rap, but people just said, oh, you can only produce. I've seen him times when even one time I remember he came home not having gotten what he really had gone after that particular occasion, and he didn't even know whether he wanted to stay in music or not. And so, you know, now we're all glad that he did. Yeah, there are always valleys. You're not always on the mountaintop, but you just keep fighting to get there, and then once you're there, if you're like Kanye, who's a workaholic, you just do your best to do. But you know what? I think Kanye's something about him that I'm very proud of is his goal is just to make the best music that he can, and to really, really please his fans and the people who listen to him and the people who believe so very much in what he does. So all of the other things that come are actually byproducts. He's focused on how can I make the best music that can be made.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kanye was back on stage just 12 days after losing his mother, dedicating his song Mama to her. Now, while he did get straight back to work, he would publicly struggle with the death of Donda for years to come, often in very worrisome ways. In 2008, Kanye performed Love Lockdown at the MTV Awards and sparked a lot of interest in his unique style of music. He later released 808s and Heartbreak in November of that year. Now, the dark sound of this album is due to the struggles that he was having with the death of Donda and the end of a relationship that he was grieving.
Every time I perform, I'm more staking that I will be one of the, and this is just a straightforward statement that my plan is to be the greatest performer of this generation. When you look back, like, who was the greatest performer of this generation? It was Kanye. And now I'll do a song like Through the Wire or Jesus Walks, and it'll get just as much response as the newer songs, because that, like, they've been embedded in people's like hearts and spirit and mind. They've been in their homes and played so many times. And that's why whenever bands come out and they say, this album is better than the Beatles, it is impossible to make an album better than the Beatles unless you got like 30 years. It's like saying, I'm your new best friend. Like, your best friends are going to be people you've known your whole life. So, like, Beatles records, people have known them their whole life. So it's impossible to do, like, a song like, oh, man, you're just going to love this more than the old songs. It's just, hopefully, 5 years from now, people still play Love Like Down. People still play the records that I'm doing right now. I always knew that the melody drives records so much. If you think about my biggest records, Stronger, Gold Digger, Diamonds Are Forever, like all these records, Good Life, they always had like, I got a good thing. And this was the big thing that like connected internationally. The reason why I'm one of the bigger artists, I always understood that melody. And I was like, yo, let me stop around. I'm gonna just like make it be all melody. And it's the same, and my lyrics are from the same perspective. It's not no R&B, get on your knees and beg a girl type bullshit. It's like still like guy music, like, you know, with a swag on it and stuff. So pop is such a clear lane and stuff for people to kind of do like bullshit music, and it just still works. So what happens if you take a person that's like super credible from, you know, the hip hop world? It's like, I conquered this world, and then I come into the lane where it's like a bunch of bullshit being made, and be like, okay, such and such, you got to compete with this, and this has like 72 bars of real life lyrics that's from my life that I wrote. Now compete with that, and I'm gonna perform it, and people are gonna believe what I'm saying because they know my whole story. Now compete with this. So I created a new genre of music, and iTunes can choose to use it in that. But the genre for this sound is called pop art, and that's what I wanted to say on iTunes, pop art. And the only other thing that I think can go on there currently is Pink Floyd. Oh yeah, I definitely made a lot of difference in hip hop. Just because you know, I took all the same principles of being an underground rapper like Kweli and Mos Def, and then I brought it to a mainstream level where it's like, okay, we're gonna release a song for the radio, but it'll still be from your heart. And like, we tried to innovate with choruses and messages, and always tried to come up with new ideas that talked about stuff that people were really going through. And you know, it's like, it's really fun. And I also think there are other artists like T-Pain who have really like broken through his, you know, with the type of songs he had. I'm in love with a stripper, I'm sprung, and stuff like that. Like songs that people wouldn't have usually made. And I just came from Brazil, and I'm in love with a lot of strippers.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, but we kind of have to wrap things up, so I'm going to ask one last question, just to be fair. Why should people get Love Lockdown?
How you gonna say, just to be fair, and then you're the one who asked the question? Well, all right. Well, it was like 4 people. Maybe I should like hear.
Would you like to?
I'll hear all the questions and I'll just answer them all in one answer.
Sure. Can we have all the more questions?
Well, I saw like 5 hands and stuff like that. When you said more personal side, 50 Cent has nothing to do with my personal side. When I think of personal, he doesn't pop into my mind. And I do think that the melodies, especially with this new album, are very, very classic and like Broadway-esque. Like, like you can see that being a Broadway song. Like, in the night I hear him talk, the coldest story ever told. We're far along this road, he lost his soul. A woman so heartless. But like Amazing and Straight could be a country or Johnny Cash or something. It's amazing, I'm the reason. Everybody fired up this evening. I'm exhausted, barely breathe. And I'm trying to make those songs that are just classic songs, and I just use the advantage of like really good production on top of it. That was a very short answer for me. Okay, it's like 4 more questions. Go ahead. Oh yeah, my relationship with the media. Okay, that's why I love having a blog, because it's just like, bam, I just say exactly what I want, the amount of stuff I want, you know, if I want to talk a long time, I can, and then it just goes out to everywhere else. It could end up on CNN. Whenever I have an opinion or something, I want to dispute something. My biggest problem, I used to have things the media would like, they would word things in a certain way and make me look like a monster. And, you know, I'd just be emotional like a little kid or a spoiled brat sometimes. And it's just like, I want to say something, and I still have to use the media to get my point across. So the fact with the blog, like when I first put my poster for the tour, posted any music and stuff like that, like I love being able to directly connect to my fans. Like that was the greatest thing, like having a blog and stuff like that. Before that, you would always have to go through the media and someone would say, and this is my opinion of what he's about to tell you right now, check it out. And I'm like, no, I don't want all that. I just want to say exactly what I want to say.
In September of 2009, Kanye interrupts Taylor Swift while she was in the middle of her acceptance speech for Best Female Video at the VMAs, saying that Beyonce should have been the winner.
I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
It was one of the most cringeworthy moments in award show history. And 10 years later, we're finally finding out what the hell happened.
Bam.
On Wednesday, Billboard published an article documenting what went down after that unforgettably iconic interruption at the 2009 MTV VMAs.
Making sure that you all are entertained.
Here's what went down. Basically, Kanye West crashed Taylor Swift's Best Female Video Award acceptance speech to say Beyonce should have won.
These are things that make me break out in a full body sweat.
But several insiders reveal that though the moment shocked everyone in the room, it was Pink who went up to Ye to tell him off personally.
I just think there's so many people that are being made to feel lesser than, and it's not right.
Former senior correspondent for MTV News, James Montgomery, recalls, quote, Pink walked up to him and got in his face. I wasn't close enough to hear the conversation, but she was pointing in his face and nodding her head back and forth and giving him her 2 cents about how up this was, and then stormed off, adding that Kanye wasn't pleased about his dismissal from the award show. Quote, Kanye was very upset about this, and he was kind of shocked that he was being asked to leave. Taylor wasn't the only one shook by Kanye's speech. Beyonce was upset, too.
My heart is just going, it's out of control.
Former Viacom president Van Toffler said, quote, I walked behind the stage and sure enough, there is Beyonce and her dad, and she is crying. She was like, I didn't know this was going to happen. I feel so bad for her. Toffler then suggested the full circle moment at the end of the show, where Beyonce invited Swift to give her acceptance speech when Queen Bee won the award for Video of the Year. E.T. spoke with Taylor a year after, where she opened up about the moment.
I feel like I had an entire year to process what you think about certain things, and for me, I think that I just write what I feel, and it's hard to explain how you get there, but a lot of times, and this goes back to when I first started writing songs when I was 12, a lot of times I don't know exactly how I feel about something until I write that song.
That same year, Kanye partnered with Nike to release the 2009 Air Yeezys. Then in 2010, Kanye released the album My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. The album featured artists such as Jay-Z, Kid Cudi, Rihanna, RZA, and Elton John. Kanye won the Best Rap Album at the 54th Grammy Awards. The album cover for My Twisted Fantasy was apparently banned by Kanye's record label. The art depicted a painting of a reclining nude black man being straddled by a winged nude white woman with a tail. Kanye tweeted, "Banned in the USA. They don't want me chilling on the couch with my Phoenix." Now, it seems that this era of Kanye was heavily influenced by Egyptian imagery. When making an appearance during a Jay-Z concert at Yankee Stadium and at the BET Awards that year, Kanye wore a huge chain with a medallion depicting the Egyptian god Horus. He also wore a 4-fingered pyramid ring on his hand. Now, both of these pieces were custom made by Jacob & Company and were 24 karat yellow gold. Both items said to have costed a whopping $300,000. Now later in the video, we're going to get into the difference between the Egyptian influence in Kanye's life and now Christianity influence in Kanye's life. Then in 2011, Jay-Z and Kanye joined forces and released the Watch the Throne album. In 2012, Kanye released the album Cruel Summer, which featured hits like Mercy and Click. In 2013, Kanye releases his most polarizing album yet, Yeezus. The album was extremely unorthodox, but it still debuted at #1. Then in October of 2013, upset that his girlfriend Kim K did not get the cover of Vogue magazine, but instead the First Lady Michelle Obama graced the cover, Kanye threw a temper tantrum telling Ryan Seacrest, "There's no way Kim Kardashian shouldn't be on the cover of Vogue. She's like the most intriguing woman right now. She's got Barbara Walters calling her like every day." He added that he and Kim Kardashian were the most influential couple in fashion, especially when compared to the first couple. No one is looking at what Obama is wearing. Michelle Obama cannot Instagram a pic like what my girlfriend Instagrammed the other day. Now come on, Kanye. Really? Then on May 24th, 2014, Kanye West and Kim Kardashian are married at a private ceremony in Italy. Then in February of 2015, Kanye teamed up with Adidas to release the Yeezy Season 1 shoe line, which became popular all around the world. Then in a heartbreaking 2015 interview with Q magazine, Kanye revealed that he blamed himself for his mother's death. When asked what he sacrificed for his success, his answer was, "My mom. If I had never moved to LA, she would still be alive now. I don't want to go far into it because it would bring me into tears." But then in an interview with Click TV, Kanye pondered the meaning of racism, saying that racism is a dated concept. It's like a silly concept that people try to touch on to either separate, to alienate, to pinpoint anything. It's stupid. It's like bouncing a ball in a room with two cats or something when you don't feel like playing with a cat. Let them literally fight over the bouncing ball. And the bouncing ball has nothing, no purpose, anything other than that it bounces. That's racism. It's not an actual thing that even means anything. But as if things could not get any worse, on October 3rd, 2016, while in the middle of performing at the Meadows Music and Arts Festival, Kanye finds out that wife Kim Kardashian has been robbed at gunpoint in her Paris hotel room. Kanye abruptly stops in the middle of performing his song Heartless, telling the New York crowd, I'm sorry, family emergency, I have to stop the show." Now, sources close to the pair said that Kim was hysterical when she called Kanye. She was really upset, and it took Kanye a few seconds to even understand what she was saying to him. He wanted to get to her as soon as he could, and apparently Kanye was not the least bit concerned about the jewelry. He was just thankful that Kim was okay. In 2016, Kanye released Life of Pablo and went on tour, calling it the St. Pablo Tour. The tour was canceled prematurely due to Kanye being hospitalized for exhaustion. In 2016, Kanye also voiced his appreciation for Donald Trump. At a show in San Jose, he said, "If I would have voted, I would have voted for Trump. Now that don't mean I don't think that Black Lives Matter. That don't mean I don't believe in women's rights. I wanted to say that before the election, but they told me not to say that out loud." Now, I honestly believe in some of Trump's campaign. I think that he was effing genius. It worked. And as if that was not enough, in that same year, Kanye West reignited his beef with Taylor Swift. In the song Famous, he says in the line, "I made that be famous." The ghetto. 2016 was also the year of Bill Cosby, and should we find it shocking that, of course, Kanye supported Bill, saying that Bill Cosby was innocent in a tweet. But then after a long hiatus from Twitter, Kanye returned, and in 2018, he tweets, "You don't have to agree with Trump, but the mob can't make me not love him. We are both dragon energy. He's my brother. I love everyone. I don't agree with everything anyone does. That's what makes us individuals, and we have the right to independent thought." Now, Kim must have called or texted him or told him to calm down or something, because he then tweets, "My wife just called me and she wanted me to make this clear to everyone. I don't agree with everything Trump does. I don't agree 100% with anyone but myself." He then posted pics of the "Make America Great Again" slogan that was coined by Trump. Then in 2018, Kanye made a bizarre admission given the circumstances of his mother's death. Kanye revealed in an interview with TMZ that he developed an opioid addiction while recovering from his own liposuction procedure. "I got liposuction because I didn't want y'all to call me fat, just like y'all did to Rob at the wedding and made him fly home before me and Kim got married. I didn't want y'all to call me fat, so I got liposuction, and they gave me opioids." That same year, he shocked his fans by declaring on Twitter that he would use a photo of the doctor who performed his mother's ill-fated surgery as his next album cover. "This is my album cover. This is my plastic surgeon, Jan Adams, the person who performed my mom's final surgery. Do you have any title ideas?" So of course he did not end up naming the album after the surgeon, but he named the album Yay instead, with the line, "I hate being bipolar. It's awesome," scribbled on the cover. And perhaps the most controversial statement to date was made during the same liposuction and opioid rant. When speaking to TMZ and questioning the history of slavery, Kanye said, "When you hear about slavery for 400 years, 400 years, that sounds like a choice." Now, of course, that statement sparked mass hysteria all across the country, all across the world. People wanted to beat his arse. But then in 2019, Kanye revealed that he had met God. He began having his popular Sunday service privately and then started to have the event across the world.
Is a Church of Christ. It's an amazing gospel choir.
Kanye West blew us out of the water, like literally. Yep, that's the rapper seemingly walking on water with his kids during his Sunday service. The epic visual was held over the weekend at Pinewood Forest in Fayetteville, Georgia, where the dad of 4 was seen joining his choir during the dramatic entrance.
If pastor friends are in town, they'll come and they'll say a few words.
Kanye teamed up with Pastor Joel Osteen, who gave a sermon about the meaning behind the illusion.
I'm watching these fine men and women singing. Looks like they're walking on the water, and my mind goes back to that time where Jesus invited Peter to walk on the water.
Ye's wife, Kim Kardashian, recorded the whole event on Instagram. She arrived with her bestie, Lala Anthony, and singer Monica.
Look this way. Mo, turn around.
Also in attendance, 2 Chainz. The event had a total of 150 guests and is said to have followed COVID-19 safety guidelines.
And I feel like I have a responsibility to innovate and to fight for creativity.
E.T. talked to Kim in 2019 about how Sunday service came about for Kanye.
For him, it started off as something that was really healing for him, and it was really small and really personal, and it grew and grew, and he really has been saved by Christ, and it's like born again, and he dedicates his whole life to the church. It's just become this amazing thing. And I do see online sometimes people are like, well, what is it? Is it just a gospel choir? Do they talk? Like, it is a Church of Christ. It is a Christian church. And it's an amazing gospel choir.
Despite the recent turbulence in the relationship, Kim has been showing her husband her support.
I've seen him go through a lot.
In August, a source told DT that the couple was continuing to put their careers on hold to focus on their marriage and family. They love one another and want to work on saving their marriage.
Then on October 25th, 2019, Kanye released his first album since he had openly professed Christ, calling the album Jesus is King. The album features Christian raps and popular rap artists. Then on July 4th of 2020, Kanye announced that he would be running for president of the United States.
What is America's destiny? What is best for our nation, our people? What is just? True justice. We have to think about all these things together as a people. To contemplate our future, to live up to our dream, we must have vision. We as a people will revive our nation's commitment to faith, to what our Constitution calls the free exercise of religion, including, of course, prayer. Through prayer, faith can be restored. We as a people are called to a greater purpose than ourselves. We are not only a beacon to the world, but we should be servants to each other, to encourage each other, to help each other, to lift up each other, our fellow Americans, that we may all prosper together. We have to act on faith with the sure knowledge that we are pursuing the right goals and doing the right things. We will build a stronger country by building stronger families. Families are the building blocks of society, of a nation. By turning to faith, we will be the kind of nation, the kind of people God intends us to be.
I am Kanye West, and I approve this message.
Then in February of 2021, Kim Kardashian filed for divorce from Ye after almost 7 years of marriage, citing irreconcilable differences. She sought to share custody of their 4 children, North, Saint, Chicago, and Sam, who are ages 9, 6, 4, and 3. Now, after Kim and Kanye split, the pair seemed to make headlines every day, with Kanye making public statements about Kim. Now, during a speech on Skid Row, when Kanye wanted to use homeless people to model in his clothes, he revealed that he bought a house across the street from Kim, also citing the possibility that God would soon reunite them. Now, even though Kanye was spotted with other ladies like Julia Fox, he still wanted Kim, and he wanted her bad. In fact, he spent much of the year of 2022 trying to get Kim back, sending roses to her for Valentine's Day, dating other women, posting it online to make Kim jealous. He was doing anything. And when those things did not work, Kanye resorted to sharing their private text messages. Now, even sharing a disagreement that they had over what school their kids was going to go to. No, we need to talk in person. You don't have to say so where the kids go to school. Why you get say? Because you half white? To which Kim replied, please stop. Honey, but when Mr. Pete Davidson stepped on the scene, Kanye had a fit. He was tweeting. He was, where you at? Why my kids? Where are my kids at? What you doing? He was peeking in that house from across the street. He was threatening to beat up Pete, calling him skeet. I mean, it was a debacle. It was a shit show. Kim was stepping out on them red carpets with Pete. She had on that Marilyn Monroe dress. Kanye was going crazy. He was ripping out his hair, honey. Whatever hair he had left. He was putting on them boots, them fishing boots, ready to go deep sea diving, honey. That's why he was throwing in them Balenciaga tooth guards, honey. He was ready to go crazy, okay? But one of the worst statements that came from Kanye to Pete was in a diss track titled Easy, in which Kanye said, God saved me from that crash just so I could beat Pete Davidson's ass. Then in October of 2021, Kanye West officially changed his name to Ye. A Los Angeles judge approved his request to legally change his name from Kanye Omari West to just Ye, with no middle name or no last name. Now, in a radio interview, when asked to explain the name, he said, "I believe Ye is the most commonly used word in the Bible. And in the Bible, it means you. So I'm you, I'm us, it's us." He said his name went from Kanye, which means the only one, to just Ye, being a reflection of our good, our bad, our confused, everything. And it was also in February of 2022 that Kanye released Donda 2, an album that he started recording in early September of 2021. Then in 2022, while the world was mourning the loss of Queen Elizabeth II, Kanye decided to make her death about himself, comparing the Queen to his ex-wife, Kim K. "London, I know how you feel. I lost my queen too," he wrote in an Instagram story. And as if things could not get any stranger for Ye, in October of 2022, he kicked it up to the 10,000th power. Ye made headlines at his Yeezy Paris Fashion Week show on October 3rd for wearing a shirt with the phrase "White Lives Matter" on the back of it, and actually featured black models in this shirt. The phrase is one that was adopted by white supremacist groups in response to the Black Lives Matter movement. And Ye has been facing backlash from both fans and celebrities online ever since. But the controversy did not stop here. He doubled down on his comments on Instagram and then later took to Twitter to use anti-Semitic rhetoric in his posts, then continued to amplify his hate speech in interviews. The reaction from the public was swift, with several companies, including The Gap, Balenciaga, and more, terminating their relationships and brand deals with him. And after a week of financial fallout following his statements against the Jewish community and things that he said about George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement, in a video where he's speaking to a crowd and with paparazzi and bystanders all around, he then compares himself to George Floyd, saying that he knew now what it felt like to have a knee on his neck. He also compared himself to Emmett Till, who was brutally lynched in 1955 at the age of 14, and said at times he has also felt like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King.
There's two things that are happening. A lot of times when I would say, "Oh, I'm the richest black man," it would be a defense that I would use for the mental health conversation. To say, "Oh, you guys say I'm crazy, but look at this, I made money." And but that is not godlike to be showing off. So if it's not godlike, then God will take that, because it's all the church's money, right? So what's happening right now is I'm being humbled. Another thing that's happening is by me being burned to the flesh every single day, it's actually proving what I had to say. So when I went to the mediation, what I want to say is, like, black people are like, okay, Lex Friedman got you to apologize, Pierce Morgan got you to apologize to the Jews, but you never apologized to us about the George Floyd comment that made us feel bad. Now the thing is, okay, JFK, they got a lot of documentaries about how it happened. So we can argue about how it happened, which I like the fact that we can do that. But regardless, when I see that video as a black person, it hurts my feelings. And I know that police do attack, and America is generally racist. And I understand that when we got to say Black Lives Matter, that the idea of it made us feel good together as a person, as a people, right? When let me say it so the soundbite is better for you guys. When the idea of Black Lives Matter came out, it made us come together as a people. Now afterwards, yes, there was some things where the money went. There were some things where it was used in order to push us to the Democratic vote. There were people behind it involved. That happened. But the general feeling, so when I said that, And I question the death of George Floyd. It hurt my people. It hurt the black people. So I want to apologize to hurting them, because right now God has shown me by what Adidas is doing and by what the media is doing, I know how it feels to have a knee on my neck now. So I thank you, God, for humbling me and letting me know how it really felt. Because how could the richest black man ever be humbled other than to be made to not be a billionaire in front of everyone off of one comment that actually, if you look at the definition of DEFCON, it means to get extra defense, which obviously I must have needed.
Yeah.
I must have needed that extra defense.
Are you worried you ruined your legacy, Kanye?
How?
How, Sway?
Well,
stop.
I'm not worried. I'm just not worried, period. God is alive. God runs the world. You know, God even runs Hollywood. God is alive. And he's using me right now. He chose me for such a time like this to basically for the media to put their knee on my neck, for Adidas to put their knee on my neck. All I ever wanted at Adidas, I left Nike because Nike wouldn't give me a percentage for my shoes when I had the Red October. And my girlfriend at the time was pregnant and I needed to get some money, because if I was the kid that just had the red shoes, I could have never been a black man wearing a red hat. Like Nike would have shut me down immediately, right? But because Adidas was a German company, it gave me a little bit more room to be able to express myself and to actually have a political opinion as an American, that I wasn't forced into a political opinion because of the color of my skin. Now let's talk about the red hat, and let's talk about the similarities to the White Lives Matter t-shirt. The thing about the red hat that drove me to a point of exhaustion, which was misdiagnosed by I'm not going to say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media it went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor that diagnosed me of having a disorder that would have had me on medication right now. At a time like this, if I was on medication right now, then one pill could have been swapped out and it would be Michael Jackson and Prince all over again. But because I didn't take the misdiagnosis and I didn't take the medication, I'm able to speak to you guys clear of thought and transparently. Now let me talk about the red hat. Wearing the MAGA hat, the way that Hollywood's political agenda attacked me and put me to a point of exhaustion was death by 1,000 cuts. Everyone would say something to me, from a driver to my ex-wife to Adidas. Everyone would say something. So when I wore that White Lives Matter, I said, I'm not going through this again. I'm not going. Hey, y'all gonna leave me alone about my t-shirt. Because what's the point of having influence and having money if people could come up and just pinch?
Now, it is no secret that earlier in Kanye West's career, he used to hang with Jay-Z and Beyonce. And it would also seem that during that time, he was heavily studying Egyptology. I mean, you see, he was wearing the necklace that had Horus on it. He was wearing a ring that depicted the pyramids. And that is what the sign of Rocawear, the dynasty, is. They boast this pyramid symbol every time they take photos, every time they take pictures. They like to cover up one of their eyes, and people speculate that they are in the Illuminati, that they are worshiping Satan. Well, I do find it interesting that when he was running with Beyonce and Jay-Z, he was bragging of these things. He was boasting of this Egyptology. And now that he has turned away from those practices and he is boasting of Christianity and Jesus, it seems now that he is not friends with Beyonce or Jay-Z. And there is no denying that these two couples, they have history. I mean, Beyonce and Jay-Z did not show up to the wedding of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. So there's some tension there. But do you think that there is some validity to the idea that Kanye West was practicing Egyptology? He was maybe in the Illuminati. Maybe he was joining or thinking of joining the Illuminati, and maybe somehow it didn't work out because he just couldn't bring himself to do or partake in the rituals that they partake in because of his upbringing in the Christian church. So drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about that. Now, I know that Kim and Kanye's divorce has been finalized, and a judge has ordered him to pay $200,000 a month in child support. Kanye also has come out and says that the IRS has frozen 4 of his accounts totaling $75 million because of a $50 million tax debt. Now, I told you guys this in a previous video, that if Kanye was going to be taken down by the establishment, they were going to first attack his finances, and it was going to be mysteriously an IRS debt that he owed. And lo and behold, $50 million is magically owed. So I need to know what you think about this. He doesn't have anything coming in. He doesn't have any brand deals. He doesn't have the Yeezys. He doesn't have any opportunities coming in anymore. It seems like he's going to have more going out than coming in. So how long is he going to be able to afford to live this lifestyle? Now, are people going to pay him to come on these shows? And, you know, he was just on the InfoWars, you know, saying, you know, the things that he believes, saying his beliefs. What do you think about that interview? Drop down in the comments and let me know. He says some pretty controversial things about Hitler. So I'm really shocked and amazed. Now, a lot of people seem to think that Kanye is a crusader for Christ, that we're in the end times, we're in the end of days, and the Bible speaks about the prophecy that there will be people that are going to be, you know, for such a time as this, where it's at the, you know, the end days, and they're not going to be afraid to speak the truth. Do you think that Kanye is a prophet? Do you think that he's one of those people? Or do you think that Kanye is suffering from mental illness? Now, Charlemagne the God has said on a couple of occasions that Kanye is out here moving like someone that doesn't want to be here for much longer. Now, when he says that, it leads me to believe that he is speaking about these very people that Kanye is speaking against. The establishment, the people that run the industry, that run the world even, that because of Kanye's message and, you know, the dangerous things that he's saying, which could be truth, you know, depending on how you look at it, you know, the things that he's saying, they don't want that message to get out to the masses. So they're going to kill him because of his message. So do you think that that's what Charlemagne is getting at? That Kanye is moving like someone that wants to be killed by the establishment, by, you know, the movers and shakers, by the Illuminati? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Now, the only people that I really feel for in this instance is really the children, because I know that they're watching this. Saint and North are definitely old enough to see this playing out in the media. So I'm wondering how they're feeling, you know, if they're children like any other children. I know they're confused. I know they're disappointed. I know they just don't understand. So I know that Kim is probably having a hard time keeping them shielded and protected from what is going on. So just, I mean, let me know what you think. What do you think about this whole conservatorship thing? It's starting to be a rumor around the streets. It's starting to be thrown out there. And if they do, you know, recommend him to be in a conservatorship, Kim Kardashian is going to be the likely conservatorship. She's going to be the one that controls it. I can see the Jenners, I can see the Kardashians all over that. And this whole thing just smells very Kris Jenner-ish to me. So you guys drop in the comments and let me know what you think about this. It's been a lot. I tried to give a timeline as to what has been going on with Kanye, you know, from the beginning to the end. You know, we've seen Kanye have ups, downs, highs, lows. We've seen him, you know, really have a successful reach peaks, reach really high, great highs. And it's really sad, but that Kanye will never return. He's not coming back. It's not going to be, retribution. He's not going to get any deals back. This is really the demise and the end of Kanye West as we know it. I don't see him coming back from this. So you guys drop in the comments and let me know what you think about it. As always, this has been another edition of the Sweet Pea Diaries. Like the video, share the video. Most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.